Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's just start. Others, if others are going to join, then they'll join in. They'll join in between. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, what we were doing, what we did from notes, I think we did types of solution. Plus, we did points about plasma membrane, and also we did diffusion and osmosis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we also did this endocytosis, right? No,
Yeah, ma'am, we did.
we didn't.
We
Or
did, ma'am.
we
We
did,
did.
right? We did. Okay, so today we have to start with the next one, which is your cell wall. See, now we are talking about when we were doing this chapter, we got to know that the cell, it is made up of three parts. One is your plasma membrane, other is your nucleus, and next is your cytoplasm. Right. So before starting, as you know, plasma membrane, for example, this is your cell. Right. Just a minute. Yeah. For example, this is your cell. So this the outer layering is known as plasma membrane. Right. This plasma membrane, like this, sometimes it is also known as cell wall. Not the plasma membrane, but of course there is a cell wall as well, right? For example, it is like this. Okay, so one is cell wall and one is your plasma membrane. Clear? So now we'll be discussing few things about cell wall, right? So remember one thing. For example, this is your cell, right? So these are two layers. Basically, they have two layers, right? So the outer one will be cell wall and the inner one will be your plasma membrane. Clear? Just remember this thing, very important, because most of the time, if in exam hall you get a question like outermost layer, you know, outermost layer of cell is known as, so most of the student go for plasma membrane, but no, it is wrong. It is not outermost, right? Outermost layer is known as, tell me. Yes. So you can draw a diagram like this where you will get to know that, okay, the outer like this itself, like this is cell and these are two layers. So outer layer is cell wall and inner wall is plasma membrane. Okay. Now remember one thing, we have two things. One is plant cell, and one is animal cell. Right? So cell wall. Plant have cell wall. Remember one thing, plant have cell wall, but animal don't have cell wall. Clear? So plant have cell wall. And now the next question, ma'am, what it is made up of? When we were doing plasma membrane, there we did, it is made up of, just check your notes.
Lipids and proteins.
Yes. So now, ma'am, cell wall is made up of, it is made up of cellulose or chitin. Now, so ma'am, chitin or cellulose, these two things, right? And the next thing is that plants, bacteria, fungi, these three, they have cell wall. As I told you, plants, they have cell walls, right? But apart from plants, bacteria and fungi, they have cell wall. Then cell wall permit the cell of the plant from bursting. Remember one thing, see, we give water to plants, right? For example, we are watering the plant, right? And these are the cell of plant. So we are watering. So of course, for example, the shape of plant cell is this, but after watering, it is like this, right? So one point will come where it will burst, right? But because they have cell wall, so it prevents cell from bursting. Good evening, Adil. How are you? Adil, am I audible?
Yes, I'm fine.
Good. So I just started with the next topic. See, in the previous chapter we did about plasma membrane. So most of the time what happens, basically this is plasma membrane, the layer, right? But sometimes this is plasma membrane, but outside plasma membrane there is a layer which is known as cell wall, right? So you have two layers. The outer one is known as cell wall and the inner one is known as plasma membrane. So today we are discussing about cell wall. So first remember one thing, there are two things. One is plant and one is animal. So animals, they don't have cell wall, but plant, they have cell wall. Okay. Now the next question is, when we were doing plasma membrane, we said, well, like plasma membrane is made up of this and this, right? But now the question is, ma'am, this the cell wall is like this. This cell wall is made up of what? Cellulose and chitin. Okay. And remember one thing, see, plants, as I already told you, plant have cell wall, right? But apart from plant, bacteria and fungi, they have cell wall, right? All the plants have cell wall, but apart from them, bacteria and fungi, they have cell wall. Next, cell wall permits the cell of wall from bursting. As I told you, for example, you water plant, right? So for example, the shape of cell plant cell is this. After watering, it became like this. So at if you will keep on watering, at a time will come where it will burst, right? So but why don't it? Why like have you ever seen the plant getting bursting? No. Why? Because they have cell wall, and the cell wall permit the cell wall from bursting, right? So basically, they protect it from bursting. Also, it helps cells to withstand greater changes in surrounding. So for example, for example, this is a plant, right? Whether rainy season is there, whether hot sun is there, whether snowfall is there, it withstand, plant will remain same there. So why? Because of what? So because of cell wall. The cell wall helps cell to withstand greater changes in the surrounding. Okay. And provide rigidity. Rigidity is, you have always seen a plant stands like this, right? You have ever seen the plant standing like this or lying in the ground? No, the plant is always firm still. So because of what? So because of this cell wall, because cell wall provide rigidity to the plant, the plants. That's why it remains still. Clear?
Yes.
Justin, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this we did plasma membrane. Now coming to cell wall, we'll just give it a reading and you'll get most of the thing. So ma'am, cell wall. So plant cell in addition to the plasma membrane have another rigid outer covering called cell wall, right? So ma'am, what is cell wall? So it is only in plant cell. So plant cell in addition to plasma membrane. See, this is plant cell. This is your plasma membrane. And addition to this, you have cell wall. So plasma membrane is inside and cell wall is outer, right? So plant cell in addition to plasma membrane had another rigid outer covering called cell wall. So cell wall lies outside the plasma membrane. The plant cell wall is mainly composed of cellulose and the chitin sometimes. Cellulose is complex structure and provides structural strength to the provide. So this, as I told you, plant cell is made up of cellulose. So ma'am, what is cellulose? Basically, the role of cellulose is to, it is very complex and it provides structural strength to the plant. Plants are very strong. For example, when it's growing, they don't bend it down or they just don't break, right? Why? Because of the cellulose, because they are made up of cellulose, and cellulose are like a protein. They help to grow the things. Okay. Then when a living plant cell loses water through osmosis, there is a shrinkage in content. This phenomena, okay, we'll be doing this later on. Okay. Next, cell wall permits a cell of plants, fungi, and bacteria to withstand very dilute external media without bursting. In such media, the cell tends to take up water by osmosis. The cell wall swells, building up pressure against the cell wall. The wall exerts an equal pressure against the swollen cell. Because of their wall, such cell can withdraw much greater changes in the surrounding medium than animal cell. Clear? So now, whatever is written here, we have already discussed everything. So first of all, you will just make it like this, and you'll write cell wall. First, you will write plant cell in addition to plasma membrane have another rigid outer covering called cell wall. And then second point, cell wall lies outside the plasma membrane. Okay. Till here, just write it down, 2 points, and then we'll be writing other points from the notes. Okay. Clear? I hope you are getting it, whatever I'm teaching. And also my voice is clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Quickly write it down, cell wall and 2 points. Okay, Jaslyn, you are also done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this. Next point you will write it is made up of, you will write the entire thing. It is made up of cellulose or chitin. Okay. Then you will write plants, bacteria, fungi. Right. You will write cell wall is present in, cell wall is present in plant, bacteria, fungi. Then cell wall permits the cell of plant from bursting, and also it helps cell to withstand great changes in the surrounding, and next provide rigidity. Clear all the points? Here you will
Yes,
write
ma'am.
cell
Yes.
wall. Cell wall is made up of cellulose or chitin. This is basically not in your books, but higher studies you'll be getting this. And next you will write cell wall is present in plants, bacteria, and fungi. Cell wall permits the cell wall from bursting, and also it helps the cell to withstand greater changes. And next provide rigidity. Clear? Do it, and once you are done, let me know. We'll just start the next point.
Finish, ma'am.
Done.
Okay. Now this is very important. Plasmolysis. Ma'am, what is plasmolysis? So when living plant cell loses water through osmosis. So osmosis is basically from higher concentration to lower concentration, right? But it is always in liquid, right? So it leads to shrinkage of cell. So basically what is happening? For example, if your water is, from higher concentration to lower concentration, things are moving. So what will happen? Just tell me whether shrinkage will take place or swelling will happen. What will happen if I am losing water, right? I am losing
Shrinking.
Yes. So basically what happened when living plant cell loses water through osmosis? Obviously they will lose water through the process of osmosis, because osmosis is basically movement of liquid from higher concentration to lower concentration, right? It leads to shrinkage of cell, and this process is known as plasmolysis. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so you will write plasmolysis, and then you will write when living plant cell loses water through osmosis, it leads to shrinkage of cell, and this process is known as plasmolysis. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Students done?
Yes.
Justine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we are going to do, see, over here you have to keep a check for plasma membrane, right? Now we'll be doing nucleus, right? So ma'am, what is nucleus? So see, nucleus has double membrane, which is known as nuclear membrane. So for example, if this is your cell, right? This is your plasma membrane, right? This is your nucleus, right? This is your, inside the cell you have the nucleus, and this nucleus itself has the membrane, which is known as nucleus membrane. Clear? So for example, inside my body I have heart, right? And my heart has the outer covering, which is not a heart membrane, though it is nothing like that, but still, let's assume. Okay, so inside the cell you have this nucleus, and this nucleus is basically have their own membrane, which is known as nucleus membrane. Clear? Now next thing is that has pores. So this nucleus, for example, this is your nucleus. So this nucleus has pores, right? Ma'am, what is pores? Basically, they transfer the things. Pores means a small dotted the small space. So basically, it transfer the things, right? Next is nucleoplasm. So as I told you, there inside the nucleus you have nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is fluid, and it is made. It has two things. One is chromatin and one is nucleoid, right? And nucleus, see inside the nucleus what you will be getting, you will be getting the chromosomes, right? So chromosomes, what is the quality, what are the qualities of chromosome? They are rod shaped, plus they are made up of DNA and protein. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now nucleus play important role in cellular reproduction. Cellular reproduction is basically from one cell, other one cell, two cells are being produced, so that is your cellular reproduction, right? So cellular reproduction, nucleus play an important role. Then see, for example, this is the cell, it is dividing and it is forming two new cells. So how these new two cells will look like, how the what will be the shape, what will be the size, it is being determined by the nucleus itself. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Bacteria, they don't have nuclear membrane, right? See, bacteria is also a cell, so they don't have nuclear membrane, and instead of nuclear membrane they have nucleic acid, which is known as nucleoid. Clear? So again, I'll be telling you nucleus. First thing is that nucleus has double membrane, which is known as nuclear membrane. It has its own membrane. Next, has pores. So it's, helps in transferring the things. Next, nucleus contain chromosomes, right? And what are the qualities of chromosome? Chromosomes are rod shaped. Rod shaped means they are circular, something like this, rod shape. Okay. And next, they are made up of DNA and protein. I'm talking about chromosomes. Next point about this nucleus, they have nucleoplasm inside them, and nucleoplasm, it is divided into two parts, chromatin and nucleus. Next, what is the role of nucleus? Why nucleus is there? Nucleus plays an important, see, when we were discussing plasma membrane, I already told you it provides rigidity, plus it helps in transferring things from like osmosis, diffusion and all that. Similarly, nucleus plays an important role in cellular reproduction, right? It determines the way cell will evolve. Means if a cell is being divided into two parts, so it determines how the cell will look like, what will be the shape of the cell, what will be the size of the cells. Yes. And next, bacteria are the organism which they don't have nuclear membrane with them, and in place of nuclear membrane they have nucleoid. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, Jasleen, you are also clear? See, here we are talking about nucleus. The nucleus has double layered covering called nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane has pores which allow the transfer of material from inside the nucleus to outside, that is to the cytoplasm. Okay. Next, the nucleus contains chromosomes, which are visible as rod-shaped structure only when cell is about to divide. Chromosome contains information for inherited characteristics from parents to next generation in the form of DNA. Chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. DNA molecules contain the information necessary for constructing and organizing cells. Functional segments of DNA are called genes. In a cell which is not dividing, this DNA is present as a part of chromatin material. Chromatin material is visible as entangled mass of thread-like structure. Whenever the cell is about to divide, the chromatin material get organized like chromosome. Nucleus plays a central role in cellular reproduction, the process by which a single cell divides and forms two new cells. It also played an important role with the. It also play a crucial part along with the environment in determining the way the cell will develop and what form it will exist at maturity by directing the chemical activities of the cell. In some organisms like bacteria, the nuclear region of the cell may poorly defined due to absence of nuclear membrane. So as I already told you, bacteria, they don't have nuclear membrane. Okay, and instead of nuclear membrane, they have nucleoid. Okay, who lack a nuclear membrane. Okay, now for you will write second cell membrane. Sorry, second nucleus. You will write the nucleus has double layer member called nuclear membrane. Okay, and then the nuclear membrane has pores which allows the transfer of material till here. Then nucleus contain chromosomes. Okay, just write these 2 points. I'll tell you then what you have to write. First point and second point. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, just clean this here. Just clean, you are also clear? Just write nucleus and first and second point.
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, now you will write this. Nucleus contain chromosomes. Okay, nucleus contain chromosome, and then you will write this. Just write down nucleus contain chromosome.
ये धीरे जी एक बार मेरे फोन में
Okay, done.
Yes.
Okay, so remember one thing. See, nucleus contain chromosomes, right? When where when the cell is about to divide. Okay, so the cells, there are two types of cells: the cell who divide and the cell who don't divide. So the cell who divide, they have chromosomes. Okay, but the cell who don't divide, they have DNA. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
अरे ठीक है
Okay, students, how you are writing this? First, you are writing this now only when the cell is about to divide. How you are making notes? Just tell me. First, you wrote the nucleus contain chromosomes, and after that, you wrote this now when the cell is about to divide. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See.
Yeah.
Okay. See. See. They have chromosomes, right? The one who is dividing, they have chromosomes. They have DNA, right? Similar. But the ones who are not dividing, they have chromosomes, but instead of DNA, they have chromatin. Okay, see over here, what's the cell is when the cell is about to divide, chromosome contain information in the form of DNA. So chromosomes contain information in the form of DNA. Okay, and see, in a cell which is not dividing, this DNA is present as part of chromatin material. Clear? So you will write it like this: in the cell which is not dividing, this DNA is present in present as part of chromatin material. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I hope like it's not confusing, right? Just write it right. See, nucleus contain chromosome, but there are two types of cell: one who are dividing and one who are not dividing. The one who are dividing, they contain DNA, but the one who are not dividing, they contain DNA, but in the form of chromatin material. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, good. Now the next one, what you will write? You will just write this. This nucleus plays an important role in the cellular reproduction. Okay, next determine the way cell will evolve. Then you will write back. Okay, just write these 2 points. Then I'll tell you what you have to write. Students done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
Adil? Okay. Now, see, as we already discussed this, the cell which divides, they have DNA, but the cell who don't divide, they have DNA in form of chromatin material, right? Now, few more things you have to write about cell is this. In some organism like bacteria, the nucleus region of the cell may be probably poorly defined. So you'll write in some organism like bacteria, there is absence of nuclear membrane. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you will write such an undefined nuclear region containing only nucleic acid is called a nucleoid. So basically, if this is bacteria, so of course they have space for the this nuclear membrane, right? So but they don't have nuclear membrane. So that space, like in that space, they have nucleic acid. Instead of nuclear membrane, what they have nucleic acid, and this nucleic acid is known as nucleoid. So you'll write this and this. You will highlight, you will underline this as like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, students, we have to discuss very uh, good points about few things. Chromosomes. Okay. So you will make like you can say a small box where you will be writing the things about chromosomes. Okay. So first thing what you will write, chromosome. First point, chromosome contain information for the inheritance of character from parent to the next generation in the form of DNA. Okay, so basically this is the full form of DNA as well. So chromosomes, basically what they do, chromosomes, first thing is that they are rod shaped. Okay, so first you will write first point about chromosome, that they are rod shaped structure. Second, you will write chromosome contain information from, see, for example, this is mom and this is father and this is their baby. For example, the mom has brown eyes. Okay, Okay, let's just say father have brown eyes and mom has long hair. Okay, so this girl, she has long hairs plus the brown eyes. So the character she got from her parents, right? So chromosomes contains information like, see, if I have to check from where she got this character, so what I will check her chromosomes, right? So chromosome contain information for inheritance of character from parents and next generation in the form of DNA. So sometimes I think you are aware of it. For example, when we have to check whether this baby belongs to this particular parents, sometimes in very missing case and all that, so we check DNA. If DNA matches, that means yes, the baby is from like this couple or these parents, like the baby belongs to these parents. But in case sometimes the cases like, somebody else is claiming that this baby is ours or something like that, so at that moment DNA is done. Okay, clear? And the third point you will write, chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. Clear? So what you will write? You will write hashtag chromosome. Like just make it a box because chromosome is a part of this only. First point, chromosomes are rod shaped structure. Second, second point is this. Chromosomes contain information for information for inheritance of character from parents to next generation in the form of DNA. And in bracket you will write the full form of DNA. Okay. And the third point you will write this. Chromosomes are composed of protein and DNA. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Students done?
Yes.
Okay, Justine, you are also done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, basically, see, there are two types of organism. One, those who lack nuclear membrane. So right now we already discussed that, for example, this is nucleus. this is cell, this is nucleus. So the outer covering of nucleus is known as nucleus membrane, right? It's very, membrane means the outer covering, right? So there are few, as I already discussed, that bacteria, they don't have the nuclear membrane, right? So basically there are two types of organism. One who lack nuclear membrane, who lack are called prokaryotic, and the one who have nuclear membrane, they are known as eukaryotic. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now you will be writing few things about this. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Okay. So prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Karyotes. Okay. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So prokaryote, they lack nuclear membrane and they have small size. Next, nucleus is absent. Cell division occurs by fusion and budding. Okay. Next, eukaryote, they have nuclear membrane. They are large in size. Nucleus is present. Cell division occurs by mitosis and meiosis. Clear? So right now you must be wondering, ma'am, what is this meiosis? What is this budding and all that? We'll be doing it. No need to worry about it. So you will write, next heading, you will write hashtag difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, if you want to check spelling of prokaryotic and eukaryotic, you can use this. See, just write this first. A difference between prokaryotes, this prokaryotes and eukaryotes, right? Right, hashtag difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Done. Heading.
Yes, ma'am.
Adil. I don't know what happened to him at the last. He lose networks. Okay, so prokaryotes, you can make it like this. Like if this is a notebook, you can divide it, or you can do it like this. So lack nuclear membrane. They don't have nuclear membrane. Small size. Nucleus absent. And cell division occur by fission and budding. Next, have nuclear membrane. Large in size. Nucleus present. Cell division occur by mitosis and meiosis. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay, Justine. So in our next class, we'll just continue. In our next class, I'll try to finish it up